What's up, nerds? Welcome to Nintendo Power Block for July 18th, 2017. I almost said 2018. Wow. I'm one of your hosts, Corey Dierig, and alongside me, as always, that guy over there, Edward Varnell.
I used to blow my cartridges in my t-shirt.
Yeah. You know there's a distinct label on the back of the cartridges that says, don't blow in the cartridge?
Shoot. That was everybody. Trust me, everybody blew their cartridge into their t-shirt. And then even when you put it into the system, you had to jiggle it to the left side or to the right side.
I know. And then like my Nintendo had this problem where you stuck it in the cartridge slot and like
Yeah.
you couldn't put it in all the way or else the game wouldn't read. So you had to like leave it on the edge of like the thing, and then when you pushed it down, you had to hope that the game didn't snap the front of the Nintendo off, because that's how far you had to leave it out. And then it was like, and then it made this loud thud noise, and you're like, "Ugh, that didn't sound good," but hey, I'm playing Mario 2 now, so I guess it doesn't matter. And then like finally, like 5 or 6 years ago, my cousin and I went and bought new pins for my Nintendo, and now it works like it's brand new. So but yeah, man, for like 20 years I had to slam down these carts into this Nintendo, and every time I was like, man, I hope this doesn't break. This is it. This is the one. Nope. Okay, time to make the most out of this Ninja Gaiden 2 run. So oh man, good times.
Yes.
Now I just have this little mini one that Edward got me, and I just have to plug it in, and it works.
Yay. And most of the Nintendo games are on my Wii and Wii U.
Yeah, that too.
So,
And soon Switch, hopefully.
yes.
I did notice, though, on my 3DS, because I don't know, Ed, if I've told you this recently. And by that, I mean I've told you every episode for the last 3 weeks. I'm rekindling my love for my 3DS.
Yes.
And I've noticed I have almost a complete library of Super Nintendo and NES titles on there. Yeah, I have a lot of virtual console games on here, so yeah.
I don't have my new I don't have my new 3DS yet, so I don't have those games just yet.
Oh,
but I played them so many times that I'm not missing anything.
yeah, that's true. I can't wait for them to come on Switch, though. I'm not gonna lie to you. And
Yes.
I'm really thinking about getting one of those new 2DSs, man. They look cool. The black ones.
They really look sexy. I know it's out in Japan.
Yeah, Japan or Europe or something got a white one with orange trim.
Japan did.
Yeah,
I think
I'm
they
like,
got the right orange one. And I gotta hit this one person up on Twitter, John Bricciardi from 84 Play. I gotta hit him up, and I'm like, hopefully he give thoughts on 84 Play podcast. I really want to hear what he thinks about it. Because I'm very interested. I might get that instead of the new 3DS. But I'm still trying to figure out, like, do I still get the new 3DS, or do I go to the new 2DS? Because they do still the same thing. I just don't go. Most of my games I don't play in 3D.
yeah, I don't. That's why I want to do it, is because like it'll prolong the life of my 3DS library, just because like the system will be newer, and it'll save all that. Like, think of the battery life that thing's gonna save by not having the 3D in it. Like, man, like I think it's a smart move, like if you have the money to toss at it, because like I don't know if I'd keep my 3DS, but I would definitely use the new 2DS and not fool around with the 3D, and maybe I would trade my 3DS in for some games or something, so
Well, not me. I can't trade mine in. Mine's the limited edition Zelda one.
oh
And
jeez,
because
no,
it has
don't get rid of that.
Yeah, it has the link between worlds, and I'm just like, this has to stay right there.
Yeah.
So, but I need a new 3D, a new DS system, so I might pick up the 2DS later on down the line.
Yeah.
It's just like,
Yeah, I was watching the Giant Bomb unboxing of the new 2DS, because they got them in early for review and stuff, and it was just like, man, that is a sexy looking system. The only thing I'm a little worried about and they've pointed it out multiple times, is that the top screen is a little loose. And they said that they thought maybe it was just the demo units that they were playing on at E3, but
Uh-huh.
they got the one and it was a little flimsy at the top, and I'm a little bit worried. But like all my DS's tops are flimsy, so it's like not really gaining anything there. But you know,
Right.
got it plugging in right now because after this show, playing Fire Emblem
Ooh, yes.
because let me tell you, friend of show Ray Osorio of Nerd Overdrive has gotten me back into the Fire Emblem cake because we've been chatting back and forth once in a while about Fire Emblem Heroes on the phone, and then the last time he was on this show maybe in GR, I don't know, one of these shows, he was playing the new one for 3DS, and I'm like, I guess I'll get it, and I got it. I was like, this is a really interesting take on Fire Emblem because it's like Fire Emblem, but then there's an exploration element to it, and there's dungeon crawling elements
Uh-huh.
to it, and I'm like, ooh, I'm gonna get sucked right back in. And I wish this was on Switch. And then that thing popped up that Amazon Spain posted Fire Emblem Fates Complete for Switch, and then they took it down, and then they were using fan art for the cover, so that makes it even worse because it's like now it's definitely not real, and they got my hopes up really high.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
long story short, I'm on a Fire Emblem kick again.
See, I'm not. I got the game. I'm not ready to jump in it because of Dragon Quest 8. Like I'm playing that game almost every day on 3DS, grinding and trying to get further into the game. Uh, but yeah, I really want to jump into. I really want to jump into Fire Emblem because I. It's real. It's crazy because I got to play that one and I still got to play Conquest.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. I
and try to work there.
I played Birthright, and I loved Birthright. And then right after, I probably put like 60 something hours into Birthright, and like I loved
Mm,
it. And then I went to Conquest, and it's just not the same. That Conquest is definitely the more old school Fire Emblem where like you better just have tactics and you better just go. There's no grinding, there's no anything. You just play the level, and if you die, you're screwed. Like you're done.
yeah.
You're just done. So I'm not that good at Fire Emblem to say, okay, look, I will admit it. I can't play Fire Emblem unless I can grind. And let me tell you, I bet 40 of my 60 hours of Fire Emblem Birthright was grinding. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to be so powerful. I just one hit everybody. And that's basically what I did. And it was great. That's how I want to play
Yeah.
my Fire Emblem. And, so far, I'm not too far into it, but I don't see any of the relationship stuff that I really liked about Fire Emblem in this, which kind of sucks. But at the same time, it's like this is a remake of a game that we didn't get here, and they just added a lot of cool elements to it. Uh,
Right.
and like, they have such cool animation in this game, and it's like I want to see this in HD on my Switch on my TV. Like, I bet, like, honestly, like, I cannot, like, this just makes me excited for Fire Emblem Warriors and then Fire Emblem next year for
Uh-huh.
Switch. It's like, I cannot wait to see this animation on my TV.
They have to have animated cutscenes.
Hmm.
There's something about Nintendo's animations. Like when they if you even look at the Star Fox Zero little short that they did, everybody got hyped about it because the animation was so good, and everybody just like, I would take a TV series of this.
Hmm. Yeah.
So I would,
Well, there's
yeah,
that rumor
even
that the Castlevania Netflix series, the guy that did
yeah,
that wants to do Metroid and Star Fox. So that's like a
yeah, I
rumor.
heard about that.
Which I we'll see how his Assassin's Creed project goes, and we'll see how a second season of Castlevania is. But like, I don't know. I mean, I haven't watched Castlevania yet, but by all accounts, people are saying that it's one of the best video game adaptations anybody's done. Not that the bar is super high, but like, I don't know. I heard it's good. But
Well,
anyways, back to animation. Sorry,
uh,
I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, because I was going to talk about. Well, I'm like, there really wasn't besides Mario, The Legend of Zelda, Donkey Kong had the CG, Pac-Man used to have a cartoon back in the '80s, which I still can't believe he had. That's the first video game, Chef Boyardee, food I used to eat. Um, let's see, Captain N. Uh, really can't say Turtles because that was just it was a comic book by itself before it turned into a video game. Um, but yeah, and Kirby and Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah,
Oh,
that Kirby
because
cartoon was on
everything
for a
else,
long time.
yeah, yeah, because everything else like Fatal Fury, Tekken, uh, those and Samurai Showdown, those was like anime movies,
Hmm.
so they weren't like TV shows or anything like that.
Yeah. But anyways, Fire Emblem's a good time, and it's kind
Yeah,
of rekindled my love for 3DS. But I play. I guess we'll get into what we've been playing then. I guess since that's what we're talking about already. But I played the Splatfest for Splatoon 2. A lot of people have been asking me about Splatoon because all my friends have Switches now that didn't get a Wii U. And they're like, we're hearing a lot of good things about this Splatoon game. Have you played it? I'm like, yeah, I played it like 3 years ago and it came out on Wii U and it was awesome. And guess what? Splatoon's still awesome.
yeah,
They did a lot of cool things though. A lot of like quality of life things. You know, in terms of just the way it handles, the way changing the way you're able to change like the splat roller, for example. Like you can now do
mhm.
horizontal and vertical swipes. So that's cool. That when you have the dualies, you have the dodge roll, which is really cool. I wish they would have added the dodge roll to everyone. Maybe put a cooldown timer on it. Because like that mechanic is really cool and really helps. Get out of the way. Like that is a cool mechanic that I wish every weapon type had. But uh, it's really cool. The new maps are cool. I really like the new characters that have kind of replaced Callie and Marie, even though I do miss them. But that's what the campaign's all about, trying to find them.
Yeah.
I think right. So, uh, you know, Splatfest was cool. Can't wait for that game on Friday. It's gonna be awesome. Just saying.
Yes, I'm so looking forward. And it's funny, I haven't got the game yet in my job, so I'm assuming it's coming this week. Uh, and we haven't got the controllers yet for Splatoon. Um,
I need one of those controllers. I want the pink and green controller. I just want it really bad. And they're out of stock on Amazon. GameStop didn't take pre-orders for it, so I'm just like, if not, I'll just get it. I'll just get another black one. It's fine. Whatever.
yeah. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it when I get my Switch. Working on getting one, everybody. Definitely Splatoon, definitely Zelda, Bomberman, like pretty much everything that I've been missing, I'll slowly be getting onto the system with some indie games. Yeah.
Yes. 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 Ed,
Yes.
I cannot wait till you come up here because I've decided. All right. So I've decided that we are going to do a really hyper production version of Nintendo Power Block. We're gonna do maybe one or two episodes.
Yes.
With the HD camera, with the mixer, with the microphones, all the stuff, and it's gonna be awesome. And so I've decided we're gonna do that. We're gonna have like the amiibo lined up on the table.
Uh-huh.
We're just gonna do it, and we're gonna do it right, and we're gonna do it awesome. And you have to bring your
Yes, I
Switch because
can't
it's gonna be
wait.
awesome. It's gonna be awesome.
Yes. Yes, I am going to be bringing my Switch. I will have some games, and I'll probably end up buying some games. Well, when I'm with you, when we go on our little adventure that morning.
Yeah, we're gonna be filming that too. We're gonna do a special pow block from the line of Toys R Us trying to get that Super Nintendo.
So, um,
Facebook Live. Facebook Live. Yes.
oh, that should be very interesting.
Yeah, it's gonna be
Uh,
awesome. Oh, by the way, before I forget, The Power Block has an official email address now, so if you want to email us your questions without trying to find the thread in the Facebook groups, it's nintendopowblock@gmail.com. That's the email. If you want to email us with your comments, your concerns, your questions, that's where it's at. Just want to make the official announcement that the email address is finally up. So, yes.
Yeah, so guys, please send us comments, send us game requests. Let us know what you guys think about the show. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Don't interact with us.
Yeah, and Ed and I are going to do some Nintendo-themed Let's Play and podcasts this week, which I'm really excited for.
Yes.
So, maybe tomorrow. Well, okay, so behind the scenes stuff. We're recording this episode on Sunday night, and we usually record on Monday mornings. So maybe tomorrow during our normal podcast time, we can do some Let's Play and podcasts. I think that sounds like a solid idea. Maybe.
Yes.
So.
That should be able to work.
Oh, I'm glad we're talking about what we're doing instead of Nintendo right now, but it's cool.
Unfortunately, I still have to buy my Elgato for my Wii U and my Switch. But we need to do a pod and play because it's so funny. One of my friends in England, he picked up Tomb Raider, Rise of the Tomb Raider for PS4. And I messaged him. I'm just like, this game is so much better than Uncharted 4.
Is it Alan? Is it Alan?
No, it's someone completely different. You don't even know.
Yes. We got to get Alan on the show though. I messaged him a couple weeks ago. He was on a couple of our old content from a long time ago when he was trying to start up Full Fat Gaming. But like, we need to get him on the show too because he might rival you as one of the biggest Nintendo fans, Ed. That would be a fascinating conversation.
Oh, I welcome it. I welcome the discussion. And you sit back with some popcorn and a monster and just enjoy.
Much what I'm gonna do.
You moderate.
That's pretty much what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna sit here. I'm gonna intro the show, and I guarantee you guys will just. So Alan's good people. I love Alan.
If he say that he is in love with The Legend of Zelda 2, we're going to start off that conversation on how wrong he is.
I don't think anybody likes Zelda 2.
Oh, I talked to when I talked to the developers of Shovel Knight, Jakob Glaze, we got into that discussion between Castlevania 2 and Link 2, and it's hilarious. I don't think Larry posted it, but I'll have to send you the link. I'll have to let you listen to it because you're going to fall out and it's like only 60 minutes that we talked about it, but it was such a good conversation, dude. It's so good. And it's funny because he did make a point that the same argument I made for the Link 2, he made for Castlevania 2, and all we can do is bust out laughing. It's so good.
Oh man, that's funny. Man, Ed, let's get into some Nintendo. What's happening this week? What happened? What is happening?
Oh goodness, what is happening? A lot has happened. A lot of games got announced. The Jack Party Box 1 and 2, that's coming to Switch. And I'm just like, oh wow,
that's solid. And I think those games are fun. Have you ever played the?
I've never tried.
Oh, they're just like they're dumb party games, but I mean they're fun. They're good, good dumb, not like dumb. They're good dumb and fun to play when there's people that don't necessarily play video games a whole lot, but they're just fun.
Yeah. So we didn't get a chance to talk about this one. Or maybe we did, I don't know. One of the one of the developers who make Lawbreakers, his reason of why that game is not coming to Switch is because he said the Switch doesn't have enough buttons like the
Yeah.
PlayStation 4. And everybody on Twitter, and even I think people at his job tweeted at him and showed him pictures to be like, these have the same buttons as the PlayStation 4.
Yeah, I
So
mean,
he,
like, I get it. Like, I understand, like, people try to, like, get, like, just try to have this really proper PR answer or whatever. But, like,
yeah,
if your game's not coming to Switch, just say it. Like, people aren't going to be mad. Like there's a certain technical limitation to some of these games that just can't happen on the Switch, and that's fine. But
right.
just say it. Like, don't come out and BS us with these stupid answers like, "Oh, your controller doesn't have enough buttons." What? The PS4 has 15 buttons, and so does the Switch. Like, the only thing that's different is the touchpad in the middle, and I guarantee you that doesn't do anything for PS4. And
Yes.
even then, the Switch has a start and select button, which the PlayStation doesn't have. So if you want to implement buttons, like, here's your select button that you can use for the touchpad, like, just the
Yeah.
answers,
It was a bonehead move.
like Lawbreakers looks like a really cool game, and I actually do kind of want to try it out on PS4. Like, it looks like it's taking this weird, interesting take on what Overwatch is and adding, like, somebody compared it to like Overwatch meets Minecraft in terms of like you're grinding for materials to upgrade your stuff during this match and stuff. And like, it sounds like a cool idea. I don't know how much I'd have actually play it because like I don't really care for competitive multiplayer, but like it sounds like a cool idea. But like, that game does some stuff with gravity and requires a lot of back end horsepower that you don't really necessarily see on screen. But like on the back end, you'll see that, like, PS4 and PCs can run, but probably not the Switch, and that's fine. But just come out and say it, man. I'm so tired of these developers coming out and saying, "Well, maybe." Like the other example is like Kingdom Hearts had a new trailer this week drop, right? Kingdom Hearts 3. And
Yes.
like, that game looks freaking beautiful. I can't wait for Kingdom Hearts. I'm a huge Disney fan. I don't really care about the Kingdom Hearts ish thing, but I do want to play it because I'm a huge Disney fan,
And
and like
and
that game looks amazing, and the Toy Story
I
level they
can't wait
showed
for it to
off.
come out. Yeah, cause I want that game. Like I've been crying for that game. I've been upset for the Kingdom Hearts games because I just wanted to play the regular three games.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think they're really good games,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm looking forward to three. I just don't like all the backstory stuff that they
Yeah,
just try to
the
throw on Nintendo.
yeah the only thing, like, the only games you really need to play in that series to get the whole like story, and like,
Mhm.
and none of them are on Nintendo. Like, one and two for sure, and then Birth by Sleep, which is basically Kingdom Hearts Zero. Like, those are
Right.
the three games you need to play in the series, and like the other ones are just kind of like throwaway games, retelling. Like, I would argue, out of all of the side stories for Kingdom Hearts, Chain of Memories is probably has the most story because you learn about Organization 13, and like you
Mhm.
learn about all the members and stuff. But even then, it's like they still recap all that in two. Like
Too.
in Chain of Memories, you learn about nobodies, you learn about Roxas and Naminé, and like all that kind of stuff. And like, I was a really big Kingdom Hearts nerd, like 10 years ago, 15 years ago now at this point, probably. But like, you know that trailer dropped, and there was a interview, uh and they asked if the game would be coming to Switch, and they said maybe that it's a possibility, but it would be a long ways after it came to Xbox One and PS4. Like, don't give people false hope, because that game's not coming to Switch. Like, I'm sorry. Like,
Right.
as much as I would love that game on Switch, and if it comes to Switch, you can bookmark this episode and say, "Ha, I told you so." But like, this game's not coming to Switch, and if it's not coming, don't give fans hope that's not there. And like, Unreal 4, they're using Unreal Engine 4, which is easily ported to Switch, and which would be another thing to like say, okay, maybe that has a better chance than, say, Lawbreakers. But like, if this game is too like if it requires more power, just don't even put it out there. Just say no, we're not considering it right now. Like it's not what we're working on right now. Like
Yeah, and to me the sad thing about it is that Kingdom Hearts 3 has fallen to a place where it has to prove itself that the wait was worth it. Because if Kingdom Hearts 3 does not live up to this wait that we've been having for this game, it won't matter if it come to Switch.
mm-hmm.
If nobody is not going to be playing it. Now, if it does come to Switch, that's going to guarantee more sales for it, and it will probably shock Square Enix that, oh wow, this game really did sell well on Switch. You know, we're if and hopefully they show Square Enix that the one game that they're releasing for Switch and their new the last something the last sphere, when that comes out for Switch, I hope that shows Square Enix that if you put your role-playing games on the system, people are willing to buy it because they want to play this whole game on the go, on their long trips. We're getting to the holiday season. You know, kids are still, well, not holiday season, I should say. Around this time, kids are getting ready to go back to school.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and they want to set stuff up. Well, what if they can't have a big TV and, you know, really bring their PlayStation 4 and stuff? If they got a Switch that's easy and compatible to not only play on their trip there, but can easily set up in a dorm room, people are going to be wanting to play your games on that system.
But anyways, sorry. But yeah, I'm tired of these answers, and like, you know, the Switch is a cool portable device, and like, you know, it's a device that I would have killed to have when I went to college 10 years ago. Like, just to lay in my dorm room and play games like that instead of lugging a huge TV around and like, you know, these big boxes and stuff. Like, I would have killed to have a Switch, and like to play games like that on Switch would be great. And like, I mean, not that we don't have great games on Switch already, like Zelda and ARMS and Mario Kart, and you know, Splatoon's coming, and we're getting a whole slew of games this fall, which we've talked about thousands of times on the show. But to have a strong game like Kingdom Hearts would, I think, would benefit the Switch. Like, it would benefit that game to have it on Switch, and that's one of the rare titles I think would actually benefit from being on the Switch, because people want to grind RPGs like sitting on their couch while they're doing something else. You know, it's one of those things where, you know, I Am Setsuna is a good example. Like, you know,
Yes.
it's in that same vein of, you know, Square RPGs, you know, where people want to sit and grind while they're watching TV, or, you know, it's something to do while you're doing something else, is grind in an RPG. And the Switch is perfect for that. You know, we've talked about it 1,000 times. Nintendo has made a killing on portable RPGs, you know, with the DS and the 3DS, and now Switch, presumably, right? So to miss a big one like this is like it kind of sucks.
I mean,
And especially when it's on an engine that's been proven to work on Switch.
yes.
You know, it's that kind of thing. And I know it's going to take extra work, and like, you know, maybe 6 months after it comes out on Xbox One and PS4, maybe we'll get it in the spring at some point, you know? Maybe we will get it. But like, yeah, it's kind of a bummer. And I'm not usually one to complain that we're not getting games on Switch, cuz like, it's understandable. Sometimes it's understandable. But like, this is just one of those. It's just like, man.
Well, it's weird that, you know, a lot of people are asking the developers, you know, are your game coming to Switch, and then they'll give them an answer. And you know, a lot of Nintendo people have already come to the terms with just like, okay, we understand. But then the games that we don't expect that's getting announced for Switch, everybody's getting excited about. And it's just like, oh, new game from this developer or this publisher got announced for Switch. Oh, now I'm interested in getting that game. And so it looks like when these journalists go talk to these bigger companies and they make their reply or give their answer about their version of a game coming to Switch not happening, there's like 2 or 3 other companies that's announcing games for the Switch, and everybody is like ready to support that and market that. So it looks like, once again, if third party don't get their stuff together, it doesn't matter if your game come to Switch or not. Everybody's going to be supporting the games that do come to Switch that came out of from nowhere,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and that's where the money's going to be made at.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. So it's just weird, but we are getting really cool indie games. We're getting a lot of strong support from Nintendo this fall. So,
Hmm?
and this game isn't coming out till next year, so maybe there'll be something. They did give a release date, but uh, there are a lot of games coming out for Switch and 3DS soon, and there's a cool game that I talked to you before the show started. Was
Yes.
It's called The Last 5 Minute, or what? Hold on, I need. Let me get this right before people start. The
The
longest
last
the
five,
longest
the
five
longest five
the
minutes.
longest 5 minutes, and this is
Yes.
an indie game that it's not coming out till spring of next year, but the concept is basically you're in the final boss fight of this big long RPG. This is how the game starts, and you get hit by the boss, and the main character gets amnesia, forgets how to use his weapons, forgets how to use his special attacks, forgets his powers and all that kind of stuff, and your party members kind of are trying to talk you through it, and you play the game through these flashbacks, and
Hmm.
that's how you gain your powers back, that's how you gain your weapons back, that's how you gain everything back, as you play through these flashbacks. And it's the whole game takes place through flashbacks, but it also takes place in the final 5 minutes of an epic RPG. It's pixelated, kind of top down type thing. About the game, I'm just going to read this description real quick. Your memories shape the present. The choices you make in your memories will affect the story in the present, change the outcome based on how you remember the things in your flashback. Heartwarming tale of bravery, lighthearted comedy, and heartfelt storytelling intermingle and ascend up to the best 5 minutes of a modern classic. A love letter to classic RPGs, from the 16-bit style to retro-inspired music. This game was made by fans of RPGs for you to enjoy, young and old. So I mean, it looks super cool. I recommend you check out a trailer. It looks
Yes.
fantastic. I mean, like it looks like a mix between like Final Fantasy 3 for Super Nintendo and kind of Earthboundy, where like when you travel through the towns and stuff, your party members follow you, but like the turn-based battle system looks really cool. So
Like the early Dragon Warrior, and because they were called Dragon Warrior before Dragon Quest
right,
became their name in here
exactly.
in America. Uh, and even further than that, Fantasy Star. But I was watching the trailer, and it just hit me. I was just like, this is TurboGrafx 16 all together.
Hmm.
Like, I didn't get Super Nintendo vibes from it because Super Nintendo had a look and a style to them. But TurboGrafx 16, I'm down for
Hmm.
with their RPGs, and this looked like it would have fit that system. So, while looking at the trailer, I was just like, yeah, I would pay $15 for this,
Yeah, yeah.
which I'm probably going to pay.
Yeah, and it's coming physically too to Switch for $30. So
Ooh,
yeah.
yes.
So like, I mean, it's gonna be 14.99, I think, digitally on all platforms. But if you want it physically
Mhm.
for Switch, you'll probably get some little tchotchkes and stuff like kind of Cave Story or Puyo Puyo Tetris, where you get a cool keychain or whatever. So
I would love for it to come with the cape from the game.
hmm.
I think that would be so cool, like a little handkerchief cape or something like that.
Yeah. But yeah, man, that game looks cool. I am very picky about what indies I play, but that game is definitely one of the games that you should be looking out for. It looks super cool. So, uh, what else? What else is coming? There's something else I saw that was coming too. Um,
Uh, So everybody, just to let you know, you could go actually on Destructoid for this one. I haven't got a chance to actually read it. It seems to be affinity item duplication for Breath of the Wild, like a glitch that allows that. But you do need the new DLC, and you can read that story on Destructoid to find out more about it. I just seen it, and I'm just like, oh,
Oh yeah,
okay.
it's like this glitch where you can pick up the same Korok seed like infinite amount of times, and you can get like use that glitch to max out your inventory space. So yeah, but you need to download the DLC to have that glitch. So get it before it gets patched, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, something else. Rayman Legends Definitive Edition has a
Yes.
release date for September 12th. Um, if you didn't buy it on the 97 other platforms it's on, you can get it on Switch, which I'm going to be playing it on Switch because that game is so good. Game is so
Oh,
good.
it's literally you have to got to see this game in motion. I have it for Wii U, and I'm super stoked that it's coming to Switch because it's automatic rebuy. I love this game.
Yeah, yeah. It's the best platformer outside of a Mario platformer I think I've ever played.
Yes,
Like the music levels where you run to the beat of the music and you time your jumps with the beat of the music. It is so
perfection.
gosh, it's so good. And like I almost wish they would package Origins in with this one, just because like both of them, because like Origins is great,
Yes,
and I have it on 3DS, and let me tell you, it plays great on 3DS. But Legends is, I would put it up there with some of the best Mario games. Honestly, it is so good. It is the attention to detail in the levels, the way you jump, the ability to like move through the levels without stopping is just like it's
okay. Question for you: If they would you uh if they said the game is hidden, like Origins was hidden in the game, and you just gotta be like meet a certain requirement, and it unlocks the game, would that add more value to the game, or
oh
did you
yeah.
just want Origins to come out?
Oh, I mean, I don't care either way. Like if Origins was hidden, you had to do like a perfect run through Legends. Like I would do it just to get Origins.
Yes.
But like I there's very few games I want. Well, I mean, I would like every game ported to Switch, but like on the short list of games that like I would really really want ported to Switch.
Mhm.
We've talked about Bayonetta a ton. Uh,
Yes.
you know, I think the Donkey Kong Country Returns games, both of them would be perfect for Switch. But the other set of games would be Rayman Origins and Legends. And, they announced Rayman Legends a while ago for Switch, but, we didn't know if we were going to get it like this year or not. And finally, we have a release date. It's just great. Oh, so excited.
Dude, September, August is September, and October is packed, dude.
I know,
Like,
right?
and like this is bonkers. Like, I know you have a list of games, but I think we probably have to redo the list and like update on games that's coming out. Like, it is literally crazy for Nintendo, for physical and digital.
Yeah, let me try to find my list here for the 97th time on this show. So for Switch, the big games for Switch, July is Splatoon, August is Mario and Rabbids and Sonic Mania, September is Rayman Legends, Pokken Tournament, and then you got your sports games in NBA 2K and FIFA 18. And then
Yeah.
October is Battle Chasers, it's Super Mario Odyssey, and then November is probably going to
Is WWE in October?
it just said for Switch it just has a fall release.
Okay.
Yeah, so we have a fall release for that, but November's the big question right now. We think we I think we think that Fire Emblem Warriors is going to be the November game, and then
Hmm.
Xenoblade will be the December game. And then you got Skyrim in November, and Rhyme somewhere in there. So like, Switch is super packed, and then you still have Metroid and Pokemon for 3DS.
And isn't that Ubisoft Starlink, is that coming up this year or next
Next
year?
year, it says
Next
2018.
year.
Yeah, because
Okay.
there was an article on Nintendo Today about Starlink actually that I was going to get to next. Uh, it's pretty much Skylanders meets No Man's Sky with a cool battle system.
Huh.
It looks super interesting, but I wonder how much of this game you can play without actually buying the ships. I will probably buy one ship and add parts to it, but I don't want to have like 75 different ships to play through like all this content, because like Skylanders, you had to buy the toys to play through some of the content, and that's not how I want to play
Yes.
this game. Uh, I want to buy the things because they look cool, not because I need them. So, which was part of the issue with Disney Infinity. I just happen to be a huge Disney fan, so I bought them all. So, man. But, anyways, Starlink looks like looks like Skylanders mixed with No Man's Sky. There was a quote here that I wanted to read. This is completely proprietary technology built from the ground up by the team at Ubisoft Toronto. We assembled a team of experts from the toy industry and games industry to work hand in hand to make something that is completely instantaneous. So when you connect that part, it immediately appears in the game. It's incredible. It's incredibly flexible technology. You can stack parts. You can reverse them if you want to put the weapons to shoot backwards, to shoot someone that's chasing you, and you can combine different pilots, each of which has a different unique special ability and a skill that you can upgrade through their own story. So,
Ooh.
it sounds super cool. Uh, it's very important for us to be extremely player friendly in what we're offering. We want people to buy the collectibles because they think the collectibles are amazing, not because they need to buy them to play through parts of the game. The modular play gives you all these cool creative things to do and build, but we don't want to force you into buying them. You can complete the entire game with just the starter pass. Even if you are a minimalist, you don't want more stuff on your shelves, you can even get digital versions of all the parts. You can play the entire game digitally, which is something we are also very proud of. To me, the Nintendo Switch is an absolutely perfect match for Starlink. The modularity of the console is a match made in heaven for the modularity of Starlink. We're super excited about the possibility of going to connect custom controller mounts to the Joy-Con, playing on your TV, and then taking them on the go, or you have your full access of digital library parts you own. So it sounds like all the parts are coming with digital codes too for the Switch version specifically, so you don't have to take the toys with you. So yeah, really cool. The more I read about this game and the more I see of it, the more excited I am about it. Uh, it's just one of those games, man, that you're just like, it seems interesting, and then you watch a trailer and you're like, oh well, this battle system's kind of cool. Oh well, you can fly to different planets, so that seems cool. It just looks cool, man. Ubisoft is really killing it.
Yes. Yes. It's one of those Konami games. I mean, Konami situations that if right, Ubisoft might get back into the good hands of gamers,
Yeah, and I
and
think
that's speaking a lot.
I really think there's like two sides of Ubisoft, right? Like there's the Assassin's Creed Tom Clancy side where it's like,
Yeah.
okay, we're putting out this game because these games appeal to a mass audience and we need them to make money. And we can interchange these systems into each of these games and nobody will notice, even though we all notice, right? But then you get
Right.
this creative side of Ubisoft, which is like Rayman, which is Starlink, which is Child of Light, which is Valiant Hearts. Like you get those
Yes.
really cool experiences from Ubisoft, like even the first Beyond Good and Evil at some point, right? And like
Yes.
these are the games that I want to see on Switch. And like, not that like having the Division in Assassin's Creed is bad or anything. Like I want those games to exist too, but like a game like this really shows like I feel like Ubisoft takes a different approach to games than EA and Activision, and it's stuff like this that's why.
Right. It's like I always say, it when a game feels weird and quirky, but it grabs people's interest, sometimes that works as a guaranteed sale.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes that guaranteed sale will get you good press, good talk, good discussion with people. So that's more good sales leading up, because if Starlink is a success, whether it's an 8 or a 9, and people are buying the toys, like they're reasonable, like reasonably priced, that's good for Ubisoft
Mm-hmm.
on all accounts. And I feel like it's going to sell well. If there's a lot of Switches that's coming out, it's going to sell well on Nintendo than it will on the other systems.
Yeah, I feel like this is a game specifically built with Switch in mind.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know it's coming out on the other platforms, but the way they talk about modularity and the way that the Switch is pretty modular in terms of like, oh, I can just put the screen on the table and play it with the Joy-Con separated, or I can play with the Pro Controller on the TV, or I can take it on an airplane with the Joy-Cons attached. Like, the way they talk about modularity and the way they kind of focus building these ships around that modularity,
Yeah.
is pretty cool. Like, that's something that, like EA isn't really taking with FIFA or something, like it's kind of a straight up port where like this kind of seems like, yeah, we built it specifically for Switch, and we're releasing on the other platforms as well, as instead of the other way around. So
Right.
oh, it's so cool. Oh, this game looks so good. This trailer, like, just it's so cool. Like the planets and stuff are super cool. Like it's nowhere near as big as No Man's Sky. I'm not trying to like say that, but it has that feel of what that game maybe wanted to be and never became, so it's gonna be cool.
Yes.
Yes.
I can't wait. It's one of the games that me and Larry talked about that we're definitely going to probably pick up, that we're very interested in. So 2018, yeah. I'm down for it.
Yes. Oh man. So many good games. Sorry.
Yes, but dude, I'm still hyped about that Rayman definitive. Like
know.
oh.
I know. It's cool, man. I want some cool, like, I'm really excited to get into this fall because like I want to play my Switch more, and like even though I've played all these little indie games, like I want another media experience like Zelda, right? I want another like not like grindy experience in terms of like Zelda, but like another media experience like Rayman, or because like within 2 weeks of each other we're getting Mario and Rabbids, and then we're getting Rayman. Like, those are two massive games that I'm super excited for.
Yes.
Gosh, and those like, oh,
dude,
it's like these games.
Can I tell you?
These games
actually.
Are like,
oh, go ahead, Corey.
Oh, I was gonna be like, the game this fall before E3. The game this fall I was most excited to play, and the game I thought I was going to play and not get anything else until Mario Odyssey, was Destiny 2. And now all these games were announced and are coming out with the release dates and stuff, and I'm like, I'm not going to have time to play Destiny. Like, I got all these other Nintendo games to play. I don't know.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned it, because without me even thinking about it, the beta for Destiny and Splatoon releases this Friday.
Right.
That's insane.
Well, I think Destiny beta releases. I think for PS4 it's out when this episode posts, and then the Xbox beta is tomorrow. So
right, but that's only for people who did a pre-sale.
Right.
The whole open beta for everybody starts this Friday, the 21st.
Right.
But Splatoon is also out, so it's just like
Yeah,
it's a huge day for shooters. So it's a really good day for everybody.
yeah, and like I've become less and less hyped on Destiny 2 the more like because like I me and my friends have already decided like a we're moving from PS4 to Xbox One, uh,
Hmm.
and B like we're gonna play it way more casually than we were playing Destiny 1. Like we just like there's so many other games we want to play. Like Joey's a hardcore Final Fantasy 14 player, right? And
Yes.
when the week after Destiny 2 comes out is another major Final Fantasy 14 patch, which adds hard modes to his raids. So he's going to be playing Final Fantasy 14 3 nights a week raiding, and like, there's just so many other paths that people are taking and games that they love, and like, I find myself wanting to play Switch more and do more in the handheld space where
Uh-huh.
like, you know 3 year I'm in a different place than I was 2 years ago when the Taken King came out, or 3 years ago when Destiny came out, right? Like I don't have the time to spend on that anymore. And so like all these like bite-sized games or handheld games that are coming, like you can play a level of Rayman Legends in probably 2 or 3 minutes, right? And you can knock out three
Yes.
three or four levels in a 20-minute span and be like, okay, I feel like I accomplished something. Let's go out to dinner, or let's go see a movie or whatever. Like, because my wife doesn't really care that I'm playing video games. Like it's cool that I can play them when she's sitting next to the couch. It's like what I like when we were talking earlier and we were watching that awful show. Like it was like, I can sit there and play my Switch on the couch while we're watching TV, but like I can't play Destiny while we're watching TV. Like it's just everybody's in a different place in their life, I guess is what I'm trying to say, without trying to ramble. And like it's just the Switch is it's the blog I've been working on for probably 2 months now, and like trying to word it perfectly is really starting to grind. And like, but it's like the perfect device for where I'm at in my life right
Yes.
now. Like I got married 6, 7, 8 months ago at this point. 9 months ago, October, whatever October. I can't do math right now. You know, we're gonna try to start having kids soon. Like, we're looking into maybe buying a house in the next year or two. Like all these things, like I don't have the time that I had when I was 20 years old, right? I don't have the time to sink into Destiny anymore, and like the Switch is giving me the option to play games in a different way that fits my lifestyle. and
Right.
and it's such a good thing, and which I think is why it's popular with young adults now. Is like, people are always on the go. People always have to be going somewhere, doing something. Like, my friend, like everybody made fun of the rooftop party when in the commercial, right? Well, guess what my friends did the other day? Oh, they threw a party, and guess what? They had a Switch there. They were playing 1-2 Switch. They were playing Mario Kart at a party. Surprise! That stuff is really happening. So like
Yes.
this thing, it's it's one of those
It's
devices that people need to get in their hands, and then they'll understand. Which is why I think it's super popular. Is everybody's getting one now, and now it's the Wii situation, right? People are getting it, they're playing it, they're telling their friends, then their friends want it,
yeah.
and then people like parents are gonna want it for Jackbox Party Pack and 1-2 Switch,
Right.
and whatever the quality of life thing that they're working on. So
Like my mom is a big Mario player. Like she's gonna get a Switch to play Mario, whether it's 2D or 3D. She is a big Mario player. So like this is going to appeal to her because now she can pull a controller out, give it to her grandson, and they both could play the game at the same time. Like if they ever make a new 2D Mario game,
which they will. I would love to
which
see. I would love to see a new Super Mario Brothers on Switch.
Mhm. Oh, if that happens, I could just shut my mom's going to shut it down. Like it's a day one purchase. she's gonna have it in the system, and she's gonna have half of the game beaten on the first day that she get it. And, like she would learn that game inside out. But she's a big Mario player, and this is gonna appeal to her because like if she's on the go, sometimes my nephew's with her. My nephew is gonna be wanting to play the video game with her, so she could be at the doctor's office and be playing Switch and showing it off to everybody. Be like, "What are you playing?" Like, "I'm playing Mario and I'm having fun." Like, she could do that.
Yeah. Yeah, and like the big thing too is like you're like, "Oh, well, they didn't really give you a mobile experience for this mobile game." And it's like you look at Zelda, right? And
Right.
that game seems so epic in scale and so massive and almost overwhelming on paper, right? You can knock out 2 or 3 shrines in about 20 minutes and be like, I accomplished something in Zelda today and move on. Like that's another thing too is like Nintendo's designing these games around this device that's like really smart, you know?
Yes.
Zelda's game design, and I'm sure they retooled so much of it so they could have it on Switch at launch, you know, as opposed to maybe their original vision for the Wii U version, right?
Hmm.
You know, they retooled it so much to make a good portable experience out of this massive Zelda game. And like, yeah, it's technically their home console right now, and 3DS is their handheld, but a lot of people are using this as handheld on the train. You know, a lot of people are like, yeah, like my brother-in-law is like, I don't even my dock is still in the box. Like I've never even unpacked it, you know? And like Zelda is the perfect example. ARMS is a good example of like, yeah, we have this tablet or you plug it into your dock or set it on the table or whatever. You get the Joy-Cons and you're using the motion, right? Mario Kart. One round of Mario Kart takes like 15 minutes, right? If you're playing a Grand Prix. And that makes me excited for Mario Odyssey. Like, how many
Yes.
moons can you collect in a 15 to 20 minute span, a 45-minute span? Like, their design for this device is impeccable, and it's just like, oh,
Like
I don't even know how to describe how my brain is working right now. That's how good I think this device is.
I and this might sound funny to everybody, or some people might think it's weird. I'm just thinking, I'm like, I want to see Wii Fit come back, or Switch Fit, or something like one of the fitness games come back from Nintendo, because I think they could still do more with this thing. Like, take it on the outside and practice yoga. You know, do stuff with the Joy Cons that get your body moving, that will make you lose weight and stuff, or even do it at the home. Like, I would love to see something with the Switch done like that. You know, not only can you work out with this game at home, you could actually work with this game on the go.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that would literally be cool for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and like there's so many other experiences that are really good on Switch, right? Like we got Cave Story, which is super fun. You know, we got all these
Yes.
good indies. You know, we got I Am Setsuna, which is it's
Uh,
secretly one of the better RPGs in the last probably I don't know 15 years for a Nintendo console. Like you know, I mean, we got Bravely Default, which is an amazing RPG. We have Pokemon and stuff, but like I Am Setsuna is such a strong title for Switch.
yeah, it is. And I do have to return back to it on PlayStation 4, but I it's a like a automatic buy for me. Like, I'm going to spend I think it's $30 or $40 on Switch. I
Mm-hmm.
think it's 40. Um, I'm going to pay the $40 because I want to play this game not only on the go, because when I go see Corey, I want to play this game, but I really want to hear the soundtrack with my headphones, dude. Like, literally just be like, I just want to pause the game wherever I'm at and just listen to the music for an hour or two.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you know, I know we kind of really got off track from what we were talking about, but like, it's just this device has kind of changed the way I like to game and am able to game,
Hmm.
and like I don't have the luxury to sink thousands of hours into a game that I would like to, but like then again, I turned around and I'm approaching the 215-hour mark in Zelda, you know, because
Yes.
you know, I've done almost all the DLC. I'm trying. Gosh, the trial of the sword is super hard for me. Like, you know, I suck at the combat in Zelda, and you know, I like I said on World War One this week. Like, you know, I think the strong suits of Zelda is the exploration and the puzzles, and it's not the
Yes.
combat. The combat in Zelda has never been the strong suit in Zelda. It's always been the puzzles and the exploration. And like even though this is better than most Zelda games, like it's still not the strong suit. And like working my way through that is still super hard. And maybe I just suck at games. Like I don't know. It's probably the latter. But like you know, I'm still having so much fun with this game. 215 hours in, and like that's something I couldn't really do with you know, it took me like 2 months to beat Rise of the Tomb Raider because I was restricted to the TV, you know?
Yes.
And like as much as gosh, that key art for Shadow of the Tomb Raider had a Nintendo logo on it, which I really hope that's real and like it's rumored to be, you know, announced at Gamescom, right? The Shadow of the Tomb Raider, and like
Hmm.
I really hope that Nintendo logo on that key art is real, because having a Tomb Raider game on Switch would just be freaking amazing.
It's like I said earlier, guaranteed sales. Like people are going to want to play this game on Switch. And dude, think about Lara Croft somehow exploring a lost dungeon from Zelda that
Gosh,
Nintendo has never put out.
yeah, like just don't get me excited, Ed. Stop it,
I'm,
stop it.
dude, I'm literally being real. Since Square Enix got a very good relationship with Nintendo, why not? Literally, why not?
Hmm.
You got you got two great series, two best series, being able to mix together
Hmm.
as Lara Croft, dude. Some Nintendo design puzzles
Hmm.
for Lara Croft to explore.
Yeah, yeah,
I
man.
would pre dude. I would literally buy that game. I would resell that game right now at GameStop if that happened.
Yeah, I like for real. Like if Tomb Raider, like I'm gonna get the next Tomb Raider regardless, just because
Yes,
I like Definitive Edition but I love Rise of the Tomb Raider. I That's still outside of Nintendo, that's the best game this generation by far for me. Like that is my game of the generation so far is Rise of the Tomb Raider. And if you haven't played it, you need to go play that game because it is
yes.
freaking amazing. And like the re-release they did last year for PS4 and Xbox One with all the DLC and stuff. You alright there, Ed?
Let me.
Ed broke himself.
Oh no!
Oh, there he is. Okay. But like, yeah, if you haven't played it, like on Amazon, I'm looking at it right now. It's $29.99. There he goes again, breaking himself. You need to play this game.
Yes.
Gosh, it's so good, and like, I wouldn't even care if they brought the Xbox 360 version to Switch, just because it doesn't take as much horsepower. But just to have that experience on Switch would just be so awesome.
Uh, yes.
So, I mean, if we get anything like that on Switch, I'm just gonna be like, I'm done. This is it. This is all I need. I need
I
this, and
I
I need Bayonetta, and I need DMC, and I'm good to go.
if even yeah if they even if they release Rise of the Tomb Raider for a Switch, this would be my third version of the copy.
Yeah,
Like I that's I'm just gonna buy it.
yeah. Like I would totally re-buy it again. Like just don't get me excited, Ed. You're getting me all excited. You're getting me all.
I'm just uh
Ugh.
I literally now want a dungeon in Tomb Raider
Yeah,
if it comes to Switch.
yeah.
I
You're getting me all excited, Ed.
and And the thing about it is, they can market the PlayStation 4 version all they want to.
Yeah.
That could be the leading platform for the game. I bet you it would go on Switch because people gonna be like, oh, uh, Lara Croft is exploring a dungeon. Let me throw you another one. You remember those little eye things in Gold and Silver and Pokemon?
Yeah.
Throw that dungeon in, just for historical moments.
Mm, Ed, you're playing with my heartstrings here. I don't.
I'm just saying.
I don't know. I don't know if I can do this right now.
Cause look, I'm sorry. If you do Zelda, if you do that Pokemon dungeon, and you throw something from Xenoblade Chronicles, I'm done. That's it. Literally it.
Did you? Speaking of Xenoblade Chronicles, did you see that after Xenoblade 2 comes out, they're going to talk about porting X to Switch?
Ah,
Yeah,
yes.
there's this. They're going to talk about it. They're not. It's not a guarantee at all. But it said they did an interview with Time Magazine, and they were talking about the development of Xenoblade Chronicles 2 and how much easier it was to develop because of they already had the framework from Xenoblade Chronicles X with the HD assets and everything.
Yes.
That's it was actually a really good explanation on why this game they could do this game in 3 years instead of 4 or 5, whatever the last one was. Uh, I'm just gonna read these quotes real quick. If you want to look it up, go to Time Magazine's website under their game section, and there's a big thing on Xenoblade Chronicles 2 development. But basically, they said the ease or speed of developing Xenoblade Chronicles 2 stems a lot from having already created this architecture with the Xenoblade Chronicles X engine. The game portion of Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is kind of overlaid on top of the fundamental architecture. I think that made the biggest contribution on why development went so fast. And in terms of Switch versus Wii U, another point is that we only had to deal with one screen instead of two, so that also made development a lot easier. Later down the article, it's Time complimented them on Xenoblade Chronicles X and how cool it was to see a full-fledged RPG on Wii U. And they said, I thought Xenoblade Chronicles X was a wonderful game and also wonderfully different from Xenoblade Chronicles 1. But it feels like Mario Kart 8 in that which it was constrained by the Wii U's limited audience. Any chance we might see it come to Switch? And then the translated comment was, "Thank you for that feedback. We appreciate the high praise on our work. I think we're currently completely focused on creating Xenoblade Chronicles 2. And even after I go back to Japan, I have a mountain of tasks that need to be overcome. But I would love to think about it after the development of Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is completed." So there's still that possibility. The thing with that would be like, how do you get a dual screen experience to fit on one screen? That would be the only hurdle I could really think of in terms of porting it. Would be like, because the second screen, even though it's not, a really big part of the experience, it's still part of the experience. So, you know,
Yeah.
so, but I mean, we could still get it. I would not say no to another Xenoblade on Switch. I wouldn't say no to Xenoblade Chronicles X on Switch. I wouldn't like anything from Wii U they want to port over to Switch. I am fine with. Like I
Yes.
said,
Me too.
we had some people comment. I don't remember if it was our Facebook group or another one, but it was something like, "Do you?" I think maybe we talked about it here. Was like, would Wii U ports hinder the support of the Switch?
Yeah, we had that discussion.
And like, my big thing is, you know, any way you can have Nintendo's legacy on one platform is a good thing. Like any way you could get that legacy, everything from Nintendo on one platform is something that I really want. you know,
Right.
and like
And
porting Wii and Wii U titles to Switch, like I'm all for, you know.
right. And if it's games that people miss because of that platform and they got to switch, I'm like, this is the way to make it up. This is the way to jump into the conversation that people were having about this game when it came out.
Hmm.
Then you'll get a better understanding of why people discuss that particular game, whether they love it or they hate it or whatever. You'll be able caught up to be like, hey, this is why this game exists and people are talking about it. And you can play that game on the go. Gives another chance for them to miss out on the mistakes or problems that original version had.
Right.
You know,
Right.
uh, so yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, if it's like a sequel to something, like I wouldn't care so much about getting it ported. Like, say they make Captain Toad's Treasure Tracker 2. Like,
Yes.
I wouldn't be clamoring for them to be porting the first one, even though, like, again, I wouldn't be saying no, but like, it'd be easier to digest saying like, okay, people missed the first one, but we're getting a sequel on Switch, so people will still get to experience that game. Bayonetta is a big one. Like I would love to see Bayonetta 1 and 2, even if we got 3, like, ported to Switch. If they made Super Mario 3D World 2, like, I wouldn't be clamoring for the first one to be ported to Switch, even though that game's amazing.
Yes.
So, like, it's almost a case by case basis, but, like, Xenoblade Chronicles X, like, even, when people are done with Xenoblade Chronicles 2, they're going to be looking to jump into something at least that's going to scratch that itch for them, right? And why not have Xenoblade Chronicles X waiting for them 6 months, a year down the road?
Right.
So, I mean, that feeling, like every time you complete a game, like even if you don't finish the next game, like you're looking for that something to still scratch that itch because you still want more, So, yeah, like when I played Bayonetta 2, I went, like, after I beat Bayonetta 2, I went back and played DMC for a little bit, because it scratched that itch and I still wanted it. So,
Yeah. Oh, trying to
which
get away from Bayonetta 2 was so difficult, dude. Like, actually, that and Hyrule Warriors for me was just like, and Super Mario Maker.
mhm,
Uh, like putting those down and walking away and just be like, I need to make a level.
mhm,
I need to punch the demon. I I just need to do this. And you pick it up and get rehooked back in.
mhm, yeah. It's like, man, which reminds me, when we do Arsenal X this week, we need to talk about DMC and how good that game is, because I went back and played it this week. I played the first 2 levels because, like,
Uh-huh.
I don't have the Xbox One achievement, so I'm like, I'm gonna go back and try to do this, and like,
Ooh,
that game is so good.
pot and play tomorrow?
Yeah, probably, possibly.
Ah, yes.
So,
Oh, the game is so good. Yeah.
let's see. I don't know if there's anything else really to talk about this week, but, or I
Yeah.
mean, this episode, I guess.
It's so funny. We were talking about a Game Boy too, but I think we're gonna come back to that.
Yeah,
I think we're gonna come back to that. I think what we talked about got us hyped up again. But yeah, I think that's gonna do it for the show,
yeah,
guys.
yeah. Because we need to save some for Friday, and I do apologize for not having an episode last Friday and breakouts this week. Something came up that I needed to take care of, and didn't have time to record it. But there will be an episode this
Yes.
Friday. Gosh, maybe we'll save. Maybe we should do like a, like, 64 and Game Boy / Game Boy Advance classic, like what games would go on there, and like maybe the possibility of a Game Boy 2.
Oh yes,
So, yeah, maybe that'll be Friday's episode, unless something
yes.
unless something big happens this week. So, let's see. Anything else before we wrap it up? Oh, this week you can watch the Smash 4 Evo Finals on Disney XD. Or, actually, that's already happened. Never mind. Ha. happened
Yeah.
on Sunday,
Um,
so my bad.
and also, ice cream run the Splatfest. So, Sean Capri, I'm coming for you on Twitter, and I'm gonna say Nana the Boo Boo to you.
Oh, well, I picked cake too, so
Cake, 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 cake,
I'm not a big
cake.
ice cream guy.
Really?
Yeah,
Dude, it's
I
I've been eating ice cream like crazy here.
I like ice cream. I'm just not like I don't ever crave it. I like when my wife gets it,
Uh,
I'll eat some, but like it's not something I'm a very picky eater. Like I'm very picky. Like I don't. There's just certain things I just don't go near.
I when it comes to cake, definitely yellow chocolate. Uh, German is good. Um, and sometimes it just depends on like definitely with the frosting. I can't do whipped. I need like that buttercream
Hmm.
frosting, that
Yep.
sweetness to it. Uh, I'm not too into marble cake, but if people make it, I'm down for it. And I love cupcakes.
Yeah.
Like no doubt about it. Um, Pineapple upside down cake is good too for me. I like that one too.
Um, I like I like chocolate cake with some chocolate icing, or like that crunchy part in a DQ ice cream cake. Like that's always good. But
Yes.
I only like the crunchy part. I don't need any of the other stuff. I just want that crunchy part. So, but yeah, I picked cake. So I don't know. I'm excited for Splatoon on Friday. We'll have impressions of Splatoon next week. Well, at least I will, and Ed can just be sad because he can't play it yet. Haha, just kidding.
Oh,
But yeah, that's gonna be fun. So that's gonna wrap it up for this episode of Nintendo Pow Block. Remember, you can send emails to nintendopowblock@gmail.com, and we will answer your questions and read your really rude comments. So, nah, Pow Block community is not that big. We don't got any trolls yet. We're good. We're good. We got a
yes.
great community going. So, Ed, where can we find you?
So I'm gonna keep this one short because Skype is still acting up a fool. Uh, you guys can follow me on Twitter at that retro code, and you can hear my podcast Optional Opinion on SoundCloud. And check out my writings on NGR. I have a new blog up. I review stories, The Path of Destinies. So do check out what you guys think of that review and what I gave it. Another review will be coming out later on this week, and some new blogs will be also be coming up this week too.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Ah, man. All right.
Dude,
Well,
my
what?
N64 and Game Boy list is going to be so
I know.
hard. Oh,
It's
goodness.
crazy too because like, oh man, that's what I wanted to talk about on one of these shows. Like, I just went through a whole bunch of stuff and I showed you all the pictures of stuff. Like, I'm cleaning out stuff and getting rid of some stuff, and it's really hard. And like,
Dude,
I saw all my Nintendo 64 games, and I'm like, man, I have every good Nintendo 64 game ever, and it's great.
dude, you literally almost had me crying and reminiscing like with all the systems. And I was just like, no, sell that game. That game is no good. But I just the pictures that you posted of your collection, I was just like, I want to write. I definitely want to do an optional opinion about this, and I literally want to cry because, as me and you was talking, I'm just like these games, like they mean something because they helped me create a lot of memories,
Hmm.
and I'm just like, man, like most of these systems that you showed me were big throwbacks
Hmm. Yeah,
for me.
yeah. This was the first. It was. I was sitting in the living room, and my wife wasn't home, and well, she had just got home. I don't know. She wasn't in the room, but like I had all my Nintendo stuff laid out on the floor for the first time. All of my Nintendo systems were out at the same time in the same space, and I took a picture and posted it on Instagram. And it was such a nostalgia trip for me. Like, I remember when, my grandma got me my Game Boy, and she got me Tetris, Super Mario Land, and boxing. Those were the three games I had for Game Boy for the longest time, and like, it still works. My Game Boy still works. It's this big white brick with a grainy yellow and green screen, but like, man, it still works. And like, my cousin gave me on the same day, he gave me Ninja Turtles on Game Boy, and then he also gave me his NES because he was getting a Super Nintendo. And so he gave me his
Uh,
NES and all of his games, and I was like, man, I remember sitting. Gosh, my parents had this little TV set up behind their couch, and like had my Nintendo and my Sega Genesis hooked up into it, and I just remember sitting behind their couch all the time playing Super Mario 2. Like, when I still think Super Mario Brothers 2 is criminally underrated compared to 3 in World.
yes,
Like, I
yes.
I love Super Mario Brothers 2. It's my favorite Mario game outside of Mario 64. Like, that is my favorite Mario game. I mean, I know nostalgia is tied to it a lot, and not really having Super Nintendo for a long time before I got my Nintendo 64. Like, I don't really have the nostalgia for Super Mario World that people do. But like, man, when I got Super Mario All Stars for Super Nintendo, Super Mario Brothers 2 was the first game I played, and oh my gosh, that was like seeing that graphical jump from my favorite game and just made it look better. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
oh, man, so good. And like pulling out the big black drawer with all my Nintendo 64 games in it, like,
Ah,
oh gosh, dude. And I had them all alphabetized, and I was like, oh, there's the blue cartridge. That's Tony Hawk. Oh, there's my yellow cartridge. That must be Donkey Kong Country. And like, the only games I do not have for my Nintendo 64 that I wish I had were, and like, I know these games are somewhere, and I don't know if I let people borrow them and they just kept them or what, but Conker's Bad Fur Day and the original Super Smash Brothers. Like, I have, and like the thing is, for all these games, I still have all the cardboard boxes and the instructions to all the games.
yes.
And like, I don't know where my Super Smash Brothers or Conker's Bad Fur Day carts are, and like I've been trying to go out of my way to find them, but like the game store up the street has them for like $70. I'm like, I'm not paying $70 for a used N64 cart that I'm not gonna play. Like, I just want it
Right.
to have in my collection, and like, oh man, dude, it's just N64 was my jam. That system is like, oh, it's right there with the GameCube, man. It's like they're fighting each other for that top spot. Like, ah. So, uh, but anyway, man, just having all those systems out at the same time, and like having my PS2 out for a while, because like I loved my PS2. Like, having all those games out was like a big nostalgia trip, because the leap from N64 to PS2 was freaking amazing. And we don't really see that graphical jump anymore, like with the HD era. And like, you know even from the beginning of Xbox 360 to the end of Xbox 360 was a bigger jump than like the generation now. Like, I don't know, I just remember being so impressed by PS2, and I remember buying the bouncer.
Oh, a game I never played.
Oh my gosh, dude, we should hook it up and play it when you come. Oh my gosh, that game is terrible. It's bad. It's so bad that it's good, right? It was like Square's first like graphical powerhouse for the PS2, and that's pretty much what it was just a graphical powerhouse and nothing better. So, man, what a good time. It was definitely a big nostalgia trip for sure. And like finding all my Game Boy Advance carts, and there's so many games that meant so much to me at certain points in my life that I just found again, and just kind of like it was kind of emotional, like, I don't feel any of that really anymore with games. Like, I think Zelda was the first time I felt it in a long time.
Uh, Corey, you know the game Blaze Blue
Yeah,
or Blaze Blue?
yeah.
Uh, this just came up on Nintendo Everything. Our system works is on board as a Switch developer. The company has already put out a few titles on the eShop, but we also know that some sort of Blaze Blue game is planned. Red Bull recently spoke with BlazBlue series creators Toshimichi Mori and asked for an update about regarding the franchise of Nintendo console. He sadly wouldn't divulge anything, but did say that fighting games could definitely find a home on the Switch. And BlazBlue is a big game at Evil.
Mm-hmm.
So if that comes to Switch, that's big. And that is a major fighting title.
Yeah, that's pretty solid. Like I wouldn't mind that coming. I mean, for what it's worth, Street Fighter 2, like, even though a lot of people weren't super impressed, it sold well on Switch. So like
Right.
having a new solid fighting game on Switch would definitely benefit the console. So
Yes.
but anyways, sorry, we just kind of got off track again. But you can find me at Corey and HD on Instagram, Corey Hudson and HD on Twitter. You can find me on NGR Radio on Mondays. You can find me here on Pow Block on Tuesdays and Fridays. Ed and I on Arsenal X on Wednesdays. And then finally, none of us on Nerds Gone Platinum on Thursdays. That's Moose's jam. So, and you can find us on World 1 also on Mondays. So you can find all of our shows on our YouTube page. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share our YouTube page. And our shows are broken out daily if you are into bite-sized content. So check that stuff out. You can find all of our content on ngrradio.com.
Yes.
Join our Facebook group, facebook.com/group/NGR Radio Network, or facebook.com/group/Nintendo Pow Block. There is a group for both. So
Yes.
join us, rate us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and all the other podcast services, that kind of stuff. So, Ed, this is a good show. I'm glad we decided to do this tonight. So, anyways, thank you so much for watching or listening. And until next time, we love you.
Bye, everybody. Woohoo!